Welcome to the Executive Insights Podcast by AWS. I'm Shaown Nandi, and I have today my good friend, a man who needs no introduction, RP, joining us. RP, how's it going today?
Thank you very much, and thank you for having me here. I'm very excited to talk about the new technology, adoption of AI, and what it means to enterprises and the business. Excellent, and thank you very much again.
So, RP, I know that Accenture is going through a time of reinvention. Tell me about it, and tell me how AI and agents are playing a part in it.
With the new AI and the digital reinvention that is taking over the entire technology world, we at Accenture restructuring and reestablishing our strategic transformation through what we call as a reinvention. What is a reinvention? When we speak to our clients, our CIOs, CTOs, all the leaders, one of the key aspects is AI, and the AI technology has come in such a rapid pace. It is impacting the businesses, the business processes, the speed, the cost, the efficiency, that everything that we watch. So how do we transform as we continue to adopt the technology, right? Technology has to be relevant to the business, and making it relevant and making it AI and the technology and the data, everything that comes, I call it the digital core, influenced by AI, and making your business processes, your businesses transform to new is what we call as reinvent. And the way we do it, I'll just take another minute to explain, right? Take as an example, today you run either premium calculation or your actuarial or your retail business process, contract to cash business processes in a particular way. We have all implemented automation, we have implemented AI in the past. With advanced AI, generative AI, agentic AI coming, you take your current business process, use your AI as an innovation lens, and then rewrite the process. If you call the first process, which is today's as is process, as a digital twin 1, and your digital twin 2 that you redraw, reinvented using AI as an innovation tool, has to be, keyword is dramatically different. That's the keyword. Then you got it right. Then you apply the technology to transform, drive that, because you use reinvention with AI as a lens, it works. That's kind of how we are approaching, looking at every business process, taking our vast experience of industry knowledge, and the technology that AWS brings in, putting them together, helping enterprises redraw and establish digital twin 2, which is dramatically different, is the way we are transforming.
I love how you frame that in terms of line of business and business process and how the technology impacts it versus talking about the technology. But as the tech guy here, like yourself, I have to ask you a little bit, like, you work a lot with us at AWS. How are our services like Agent Core and Kiro sort of fitting into this transformation? What kind of role do they play for you?
Oh, every aspect of starting from S3 to EC2 to Kiro is one of the key aspects of the technology. Take as an example, the way I talk to my clients is, at the end of the day, agentic AI and AI is a software engineering or software engineering. Hence, what happens is every rule of software engineering still apply. So hence, when you follow through the life cycle or a structured way of implementing, be it compute, be it automation, be it data, be it architectures, right? We leverage Agent Core, Kiro as an integral element of how we develop our AI solutions. So that plays a very important role, because you need to have a well proven architected technology. Then we can combine that with our experience of business processes, industry. I call it the functional knowledge, which is be it supply chain, order to cash, human resource processes. When you combine all of that, you get a magic on the other side. That's the reinvention.
I love it. So I can just see it. You're using Kiro to help you build fast and effectively, and Agent Core to operate and getting to those outcomes. So, as the tech leader in this space who's really driving a lot of this work, how do you balance sort of that innovation and speed with like optimization? Like what's the mix that's right for the business for where you're, operating better versus more quickly inventing?
So it's a combination of both. I'll tell you how we do this. Optimization is a step one in your maturity to value ladder. If you haven't reinvented the process, like the way I said it, a dramatically different way, if you just infuse technology to a process that is not efficient, what will happen? Your inefficiency is now going to run more efficiently. You don't want that. So you need to get the process optimization, use the technology to get the optimization right. Once that is done, then comes your value and accelerated value that you need to implement within the technology innovation that you apply to your reinvented business lens. I believe only in quantitative data, right? Dr. Deming said, in God we trust, rest all bring data. So data is the key element of what we do. So it is defining business measures, business metrics. Then you can apply any technique like goal question metric or any of the traditional measurement aspects, and you implement what I call as embedded instrumentation to track efficiency benefits as part of your process implementation aligned with your new technology. Then you will see wonders it is driving the optimization and then value. That's how you kind of combine both of them to make that happen. Remember, key is measure and continuously measure the entire benefit, and the word is embedded instrumentation of value. That's the key.
I love it. It's interesting. We share here at Amazon that passion for data with you. So I love hearing that. And when I talk to customers about the challenges they face getting proof of concepts to production, those who measure the way you suggested are the ones who tend to be the most successful.
Correct.
That's really great. Well, Accenture is well known for the quality of its people. Such incredible consulting talent that you brought to bear. How are their roles evolving with all this AI augmentation and support and help?
So you will love this. We've somehow adopted reinvention as our key theme. So we are now building our talent in a three-dimensional way. One is technology, another one is industry, business, process expertise, and the third dimension is managing change and business change in the enterprise. When you put all of these three together, we call them as reinvention deployment engineers. I'm going to refer them as RDEs as we move forward. The RDEs primary aspect is go to the organization, understand their business lens, define the business parameter, bring in the change management aspects. We have a very large change management expertise within our organization in terms of influencing, communicating, training, building capability, efficiency, all of this as part of our organizational contract. So the RDAs will bring multifold talent in the three dimensions that I talked about to kind of implement that. This is a key aspect of our talent rotation. We are building very carefully, making sure that at a speed to get this talent built. Our RDE is our future.
I love that term, RDE, reinvention deployment engineers. I'm going to remember that. It's funny, we love that word reinvent. It's one we use a lot as well. So that's pretty amazing. Well, as you build these new capabilities, the RDEs and all the agentic capabilities you're bringing in, keeping with the theme of people, what about your future technology leaders? How do you mentor them and develop them in this new world?
So I think you might have heard this lot of leaders saying that when AI came in, AI is going to take over jobs. I don't strongly believe that. I am, as a leader myself, I think it is very important. People jobs won't go, but people jobs will be taken over by someone who knows AI as opposed to by AI itself. So as a leader, one of the key aspects is to continuously learn for tomorrow's technology. In the past, If you know part of the technology, you're fine. But now you need to know and build deep technical expertise. What I mean by that, you need to be having an architectural skills. You need to have business process skills. You need to have what I call the vertical integration and orchestration aspects of it. We need to have, model context protocol expertise. You need to be able to understand how data flows through your data supply chain, starting from origination of data to consumption layer. In today's AI world, every leader has to understand that your data consumption layer in the past was BI, business intelligence. Today, what happens? Your UI is moved from BI to AI. Your UI is now moved from BI to AI. That's the key. Hence, it is important your agentic experience layer. If you do not understand that, apps with agents will make apps to agents. So I strongly believe that if you as a leader do not appreciate the transformation of this technology, it's going to be massively difficult for enterprises to grow, scale and grow. Hence, training, making your leaders as the change agents to start with, making them learn deep expertise, making sure that they understand data AI, data BI layer UI will become AI.
Wow, amazing. Well, I'm going to pick on your experience for a minute. And, we like to say this at Amazon, there's no compression algorithm for experience. It's so valued. And this is probably a great case of it. But you've seen many technology transformations of your career. You've led many of these transformations. Tell us about a lesson you've had from leading those transformations, how it's impacted your leadership style today and changed it.
So every time in my career, one thing that is constant is change of technology, and you have to learn. You have to be a student always. In Accenture, we believe that learning leadership is key. All our leaders, we learn regularly. In fact, we have many programs that we implement. We have a program called TQ, Technology Quotient, that we make sure all our leaders go through it. That's like, every month we give a bite-sized capsules to learn. And I learned a lot. In fact, I went through AWS Cloud certificate for practitioner. Then I went through AWS Solution Architect content. I went to Agentic solution. I go through everything that you launch. And like for example, when we tested Kiro, I downloaded the entire CLI on my machine and went through how to do the coding through CLI and also to the web-based interface and the agentic interface, test myself hands-on. That's what I do. That's how you learn the technology. And that's very important. Learning leadership. That's the key.
I love it. Listen, that I can't tell you how much that resonates. At Amazon, we have these leadership principles, and they're really foundational for us in how we interview and operate and think and look for talent movement upward, especially. And one of them is learn and be curious. And we've all been reminded of our learn and be curious and being hands-on and being a builder. So really sounds like a big connection point between us and Accenture. I love it.
Fantastic.
So RP, I know that Accenture's had so many AI agentic investments. Tell me how you think about ROI, both for Accenture internally, but also for clients. Like, what's your mental model there?
So there are three key measurements that we take into account to measure our investment. One is very simply put, business growth, profitable growth, and revenue, how we apply to the bigger volume of investment dollars that we do. Let's keep that aside for a minute, because that's what every enterprise does. But in terms of the implementation of AI itself and what we measure, there are two key aspects that we do. One is the technology implementation, beat software engineering. When I say software engineering, it's an end-to-end software implementation, systems development, starting from managing requirements to all the way to run management, run implementation, infrastructure and cloud, network, and operate. You can apply AI and agentic AI in the entire life cycle aspect. And there is an efficiency play that you can do both from speed to market, is cost efficiency, being qualitative, very quality in terms of defect density and other traditional software engineering measurement. So that's how you measure stage by stage and stage gate by stage gate within the software engineering process. Now there is another lens in terms of business processes. Take an example of a marketing where you are creating campaign content for a marketing event. Traditionally, it takes a given amount of effort, given amount of people involved, and the quality of the content. With the invent of technology, you can do marketing campaign at a rapid pace, making sure agents are part of your implementation. Again, speed to market in terms of how fast you can get is another measurement that you do. So we have a very clearly stratified measurement program for both for business processes, functional processes, and traditional software engineering and software engineering measurement. In the software engineering side, I can give you some examples like observability. On an observability, you can look at what is agent availability, right? Agent downtime, agent business disaster recovery plan. If you look at all of this is what we do traditionally in any application stack that you do. So this is one of the examples of how you implement measurement program, not just in one part of the process but across the process. And in the previous discussion we talked about making sure that this measurement as an integral part of the measurement program. That's how you measure. So to summarize, right, you start with your investment dollars and growth of business revenue, and that's the top level measurement. Then you go to both dimensions of business functional processes and software engineering processes and define the measurement to track how you're delivering to the business.
Yeah. So I'm curious, RP, thinking about your clients, our customers that we share jointly, how do you see Agentic affecting them differently by industry? Are there different industries that are having a higher rate of adoption and interest and impact? And what's that look like for your base?
It is impacting all the industries to start with, right? There are certain set of industries where the rapid adoption is helping. For example, in financial sector, banks, insurance companies, they are at an accelerated speed to adopt them. More interestingly, the second place where a lot of adoption happens in the worldwide is in the government. In the government sector, where a lot of governments are looking at how to leverage agents, but that comes with a little bit of a changes that are required. I was speaking to one of our colleague in this month, and in some of the countries they are even bringing changes to the constitution
Wow.
on what does it mean and how to adopt AI in the country. So that's kind of a massive, just not in terms of implementation and adoption, but defining regulatory expectations, policies, government rules in terms of AI and usage of AI. And the third industry that I see that uh, you might have come across this like fashion industry where they can
Retail,
just
CPG.
retail, CPG, and then healthcare is another big industry sector where a lot of research that's happening can help to adopt. So that's kind of a trajectory, but every industry has a specific adoption. Just see, for example, in a massive manufacturing or in a earth moving equipments or mining places, you can do a lot more adoption because it will help you manage safety. So it's very, very, it's applicable across.
Wow, what an astonishing set of use cases you think by industry that you sort of laid out. That's just so broad.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very incredible. And, do you think that you mentioned the geographic complexity a little, the different oversights and legal changes, et cetera. Are there some markets where you feel this is moving really fast from a global perspective? Because I know you help Accenture globally, of course.
I think it is the speed of adoption is more or less similar across the globe. And I think one of the key evolving trend is how does enterprises, individuals, and countries define what I call as a responsible AI component, which is very, very important. That helps using the data responsibly, using data governance aspects of it, personal information and identification, data protection. So all of these play a lot of, and then avoiding hallucination in the model space, even all of that. So that's responsible AI and research dollars that goes into responsible AI, and building that across the globe is very, very important as we move forward.
Oh, that's great. I think we do a really good job of partnering together with our customers on responsible AI and
Correct.
thinking ahead to 2026 and 2027 and all those years in the future. What do you think the next frontier is for agentic AI, and where is it going to start to impact your customers and your business? What's next?
I think we all know that the speed at which this technology is coming, the way I say it is every hour is equal to a day. And that's the kind of speed that it goes. And every day is a week and every week is a month. And that's the amount of change that's happening in the AI space and agentic AI space. I strongly believe that organizations who not implement technology just for the sake of technology, but very critically looking at their business relevant technology, business relevance as part of the tech transformation, is going to be very, very successful. I touched upon in the previous discussion that we had, apps with agents will transform to apps to only agents, right? Today, when you open your mobile devices or your computer or whatever, you go to an app and then you interact with agent. I think we are very soon going to see on your devices agents with whom you are interacting to, which orchestrates everything in your business, everything the communication that you want to do. Reasoning models will come in place and then will take over how we are going to interact with the world. That's what I see. But that's the technology change. But how do we adopt? Enterprises have to continuously think, I want to change, I want to adopt. I do not want to just adopt the technology just because this is new, it's a new thing. But more importantly, to understand how I can use it. That's the key. That's what I see as we move forward. We do this because very critically look forward in terms of making the technology impacting your business growth.
I love it. It's all about the outcomes and the impact and not the technology itself. That's a pretty visionary view of the future. It's very exciting. Well, then, stepping back from the future, let me ask you just one more question, which is, we have so many CXOs watching us right now. And I think one thing you can leave them with is a little bit of advice when they're hesitant or nervous or worry about barriers to adopting AI and agentic. What do you tell them? What advice do you have for them?
So it's very simple, right? Take your current business process, define it in such a way that it can accelerate your business growth. That's the number one. Number two, look at your data supply chain. Create cohesive data elements that can be, when it coupled with AI, it gives you an efficient coupling. I call it as a data cohesion, AI coupling. That's the key aspect. Third thing, make sure there is an embedded instrumentation of the benefit within the process. That will make sure that you can see the value as you move forward, because it is not after the fact instrumentation, it is embedded as part of it. Finally, as I said, BI, your UI BI will become AI. Take it away, that's the key, because you need to be able to interact that way, otherwise it will not be seen. So these are the four key messages that I want everyone to take and then adopt, manage the change, accelerate the business growth. That's how I call it.
Wow. Yeah, that's very compelling. Thank you. That's great advice. And beyond the four things, I'll take away the need to adopt quickly,
Yeah.
move quickly, find that value. RP, thank you so much for your words of wisdom here. We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Shawn.
Thanks, RP.